everyone, welcome to Doing Dental School. My name is Kajal Khatri. I'm a D1 at Marquette University School of Dentistry, and today we are talking all about interview questions, and specifically the most common interview questions that I saw and how to answer them. I think that having a video like this is just really helpful, especially because sometimes you just don't know where to start with a question. So hopefully this will give you some ideas on how to kind of go about creating your answers to questions and kind of just familiarize yourself with some of the interview questions that you might see in your interview. Also, if you're new to this channel, welcome. Doing Dental School is all about just helping each other achieve our goals and our dreams of becoming a dentist. So if you want to stick around, it would mean a ton to me if you subscribe down below. And also, I wanted to just say congratulations, because you're probably watching this video if you got your first interview. I know that a lot of interviews are starting to roll out right now, so I just wanted to say congratulations. Also, I wanted to just start by saying that I'm not on an admissions committee and there's no exact script of what's going to get you into dental school. So take everything that I say with a little grain of salt, and if you don't like an answer that I provide, create your own. You are in charge of your entire interview process, and make sure that your interview is reflecting who you are. Okay, so the first question that I have on my list is, tell me about yourself. I will say that I was never asked this interview question. I feel like I see it everywhere of make sure you have an answer for tell me about yourself. Personally, I had virtual interviews, and so we just had some time at the beginning where you were thrown into a big breakout room and you just had some lull time and you had to introduce yourself. And that's kind of where my tell me about yourself answer came in. So even though I was never fully asked straight up, hey, just tell me about yourself as the first question, I just had some general ideas of what I would talk about if I were to introduce myself. So an example of how to answer this question is just basically kind of like an introduction of if you were meeting someone for the first time. So for me, I said, hey, this is Kajal. Especially if you have a harder name to pronounce, saying your name is really, really helpful. Also saying maybe where you're from. I always said something about my family because I'm really close to them, but that might be different for you. And then also just saying what I like to do in my free time, some of my hobbies, and why I'm really excited to be here, something like that. Just introducing yourself and making sure that that person knows that you're a real person. Okay, so the next question I have is something that I was literally asked at every single place I interviewed, no matter what. And it was some form of why dentistry? Why do you want to become a dentist? What interests you about dentistry? Something along those lines. This is a really important question because it's basically a reiteration of your personal statement. You already wrote your personal statement when you applied, and your personal statement kind of just gave them a little bit of insight of what sparked your interest in dentistry and why you're so interested in pursuing dentistry as a career. So making sure that you have read through your personal statement a few times before your interview and just reiterating the same thing that you said during your personal statement. That way they kind of know that you have some consistency to your application. You know why you wanted to become a dentist, and that reason is still the same. It hasn't changed in the few months since you submitted your application. So the next question I got at a few schools was, do you want to specialize? And this becomes kind of a tricky question because the thing is that dental schools are admitting you to make you a general dentist. They're admitting you into this program and they're going to give you the degree to become a general dentist, and they want to know that you're going to be happy being a general dentist. Because if you have your sights set so focused on becoming an orthodontist, let's say, but only maybe 3 or 4 students from that school usually get admitted into an orthodontic residency, are you gonna quit dentistry just because of that? No, you're gonna be happy being a general dentist, and they wanna make sure that they know that before admitting you. And so how I would go about answering this question is, hey, do you wanna specialize? Right now, I am really focused on just getting through dental school and becoming a general dentist. But through that process, I'd be really interested in learning more about these few specialties and seeing if that would pique my interest as well. Another question that I got a lot was just tell me about a time you blank. And that could be tell me about a time you showed leadership, or tell me about a time that you showed failure and how you bounced back. Something along the lines of just telling a story. And a really good way to prepare for this actually is just taking a Word document and writing out all of your meaningful experiences. So experiences that really developed your leadership, experiences that you learned so much from, that you failed, all of these experiences that you've had that have been meaningful in your life, write those all out and make sure that you're able to kind of have like a bank of stories that you can tell to answer the question of tell me about a time you blank. So the next question I have, and you probably saw it coming, is why this school? And this is a question that every single school will ask because they want to know that you've researched their program, that you know what their school is about, that you didn't just add them on your AdSense application because it looked cool or whatever. So they want to know that you know a little bit about your program. What I would say for this question is beforehand, I would actually always go through and research every single school. I would figure out, some of their class like profile stuff, so like their averages of everything, what they really focus on. You'll see, like, reading a school's personal statement will show you so much about that school because you will see that they will actually focus a lot of what their school is about. A lot of that focus will be there in their mission statement. So I would highly recommend reading a school's mission statement, as weird as that sounds. I would also research, maybe what specialties they have, what cool programs they have, if they have any service opportunities or research opportunities that you'd be interested in, any clubs that you would want to be a part of, anything that'll really help make sure that you know exactly why you want to go to this school. So the next question I got at a lot of schools was some sort of ethical question, whether that be dental related or academic related. So an example of this would just be maybe if you saw a peer cheating on an exam, how would you respond? Like, what would you do? And my tip on answering these sorts of questions is making sure that you think about every single perspective out there. So for example, how I would answer that question would be, first, I would go and talk to that student and ask if they're okay, if they need help in the class, if there's anything going on in their home life, just being a friendly face for them to talk to, and then encouraging them to just tell the professor that what they did was wrong and ensuring that we can prevent this behavior in the future. And the last question I got at a ton of dental schools was, what do you do in your free time? And even though it sounds kind of dumb, there's two reasons that schools ask this. The first thing is that they want to just make sure you're a real person, that you have hobbies and interests outside of the pre-dental world. And the second thing is that they want to make sure that you have some sort of stress reliever. Dental school is stressful. I'm literally 2 weeks into dental school and I'm already stressed, okay? So I can't even imagine what the next 4 years are gonna be like, but making sure that you have hobbies and interests outside of school is really important to make sure that you don't just go insane during dental school. So they're just trying to make sure that you know how to take care of yourself and that you have hobbies and interests outside of dentistry. So make sure you actually have a list of stuff that you do outside of school and outside of pre-dental stuff. I know it sounds kind of dumb, but I remember even thinking like, oh my gosh, do I even have hobbies? I promise you all have hobbies. We all have hobbies. You just got to think about what you like to do in the free time. All right, so that is all I have for you. Those are the 8 most common questions that I saw in all of my dental school interviews and some ideas on how to answer some of those questions. Hopefully this was helpful to you, and if you found it helpful, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Also, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to leave a comment down below, or I'm always checking my Instagram DM, so feel free to DM me on Instagram as well. All right, good luck on your interviews. You've got this, and I'll see you next time. Bye.